Hello everyone, and welcome to my next video. So today I'm going to be talking about some kind of personal things, but also giving a lot of broad general information. Um, I've typed it all up beforehand, so if you see me looking down and stuff, and I'm gonna kind of be reading off of paper, well, off of my computer screen. But yeah, so it'll look like I'm reading, but I'll try to talk to you as much as I can, just straight talking too. So, all right. So this video, I'm going to be talking about testosterone and my decision to start taking testosterone. So I know this will be news for those of you who know me in person. So this is my announcement coming out sort of video about, yes, I am taking testosterone now. So we'll get started with this. So first off is the question of why. So for me personally, my answer to that is I want to allow my physical body to more closely match my psychological gender. So, yeah, so if that's all you wanted to know, why I am going to take it now, then yeah, click the like button and go do something else. But if you want to hear more about what testosterone does, in a general sense, and thus that will also apply to my journey as well, then yeah, go ahead and listen. I'll talk more about what testosterone does, in the body in general when taken for transition purposes. I will say, when I have told a few people that I'm going to start taking testosterone, some people have had varying reactions of well, it'll do this, right? Or, it causes that, right? And for the most part, that's exactly what I'm going for. Yes, I'm fully aware that yes, testosterone will cause the growth of facial hair and will cause a voice drop. Yeah, that's kind of looking forward to those things. So I think it's funny that the things that people choose to focus on, and I think it's an interesting reflection. Like, a friend of mine who is supportive and encouraging and everything told me, well, that'll make your voice drop, right? And I'm going, yeah? Does she not know that I know this? And it's of course she knows I know this, but that was something that was important to her. Sound is a very important part of her being. And so I thought it was very interesting that that's what she focused on, that's the change that would really most affect her perception of me. Not that it would change her opinion, but just her perception. So I thought it was interesting. And so anytime somebody says, oh, it'll do this, right? I always think it's funny, and I think about, why would they pick that one thing to focus on? So if you have that opinion and you're going, oh, well, it does that, maybe take a look at why you're reacting to that one thing. Just something to think about. Anyways, of course, the decision to take testosterone or any hormone supplements or do anything really to change your appearance, whether it's from a haircut to Botox to whatever you're going to be doing, it's a very personal decision. And no one should make you feel bad or shame you for that. Definitely you want to, if you're looking at one of those things, you want to think about it. You want to make an informed decision, weigh the pros and cons and things like that. But definitely it's a very personal decision. And my specific goals are private, but, for what exactly changes I'm looking forward to the most and things like that. But yeah, so let's go over what to expect when you take testosterone. So, as I mentioned, some of the more obvious changes are facial hair growth, a lower voice, and a more masculine appearance. So, things like a more defined jawline, larger baseline muscle mass, resulting in broader shoulders, redistribution of body fat, resulting in narrower hips. Obviously not the hip bone itself, but just the fat distribution on the hips. And can get an Adam's apple, and more prominent veins like on the hands and things. So, an interesting thing that testosterone does is testosterone increases red blood cell production. So before taking testosterone, I had a blood draw which tested my hematocrit, which is related to the red blood cell count, so that the doctors could have kind of a baseline of where that's starting, and then that'll get checked now and then. Now, if someone ends up with too many red blood cells, then they suggest to just go and donate blood, and that brings the count down. So, I mean, that's something that I want to try to do more anyways. I've been trying to be more proactive about that because it is a very good thing to do. It's a decision that you can do that takes an hour that saves people's lives. So, I mean, that's something I'll be doing anyway. But back to the point. Testosterone is likely, though not guaranteed, to stop menstrual cycles or at least change them somehow. So, especially on low doses, it's a lot less predictable. And being non-binary, I am taking a lower dose of testosterone. I'd like smaller changes, kind of come on gradually and figure out exactly how much, how masculine I want to go. With a low dose, the changes happen more gradually, and you can stop where you choose to, or you can continue to take testosterone. It's very much up to you. So the changes to menstrual cycles, they can be pretty unpredictable. For me personally, I'm near menopause anyways, so one way or another it's going to be done soon enough. So I'm less concerned about that, but I mean, it will lighten or get rid of menstrual periods, but there can be some other problems with worse cramping and heavier flow and things like that. So definitely you would want to talk to your doctor if you're considering testosterone, and find out more about, what to do with what and whether this is something that's right for you. So another thing that testosterone does is it makes you sweat more. It changes the composition of your sweat, making your smell different, which you may or may not notice. It also increases oil production, and especially in the initial HRT, hormone replacement therapy, puberty, you can have an increase in acne, and both on the face and the body. And testosterone also increases body hair and potentially a loss of head hair. Some people start losing their head hair as well, get a nice receding hairline, depending on your genetics, of course. So for ideas on how your hairline would look, just look at the male members of your family, and that'll give you a good idea. The texture of your hair can change too. For me, I noticed a lot of these things. I had changes in a lot of these ways during my pregnancies as well. So hormones change a lot of things, and they do a lot of stuff. So if you're paying attention to your body and paying attention to those things, you might have already noticed some of the things that hormones are doing, and when you're different parts of cycles or pregnancies or puberty or menopause, and you can have all sorts of these different changes to these things. So hormones change a lot of things, but not so much that someone isn't still themselves. You might feel more confident though. If this is something that will make you feel more like you and make you feel more externally the person you are internally, that can give you a lot of confidence, which, can let parts of your personality shine that you hadn't really let out before. So people might see a change in your demeanor and your personality, but it's not really changing who you are on the inside, just who you're choosing to share with the world. So we're going to get into some sensitive subject matter here, so sorry if this is a little too much information, but you decided that you wanted to know about testosterone or you wouldn't be watching this video. So, fair warning to anyone who knows me in real life, I'm about to get kind of personal, so you might want to skip forward like 60 seconds or so. So yeah, go ahead. Last chance. Okay. All right. Go ahead. There we go. All right. So now to the personal stuff. So in addition to these more apparent changes, it seems one of the first things that you'll notice on testosterone while taking T is bottom growth. So now I don't really like talking about really personal private stuff, but let's just say your lower anatomy starts to grow. It might not be a lot, typically a couple inches altogether. I mean, not like right away, it's gradual, but it might just be what you're looking for. You might also notice changes to your libido, typically a higher libido, and some people have even reported a change in their sexual orientation, which I think is actually really interesting. It's not typically like a full switch, but can be. It might just be a little bit different than what you're used to. Maybe you're just more open to new ideas. But some of that could be related to the examination of yourself that's gone on through your gender identity journey, and internalized heteronormativity coming into play, like girls have to like boys, boys have to like girls, if I'm not a girl, if I'm not a boy, who do I like, things like that. Or something else completely, like they don't really know exactly what all is coming into play, just know that can happen. Anyway, there's a lot of changes that can happen and do happen when taking hormones. So you might hear about side effects and risks, like an increased risk of heart disease, high cholesterol, and things like that. These risks seem to be no higher than in people who produce their own testosterone. And with small doses, like those taken by non-binary people like myself, the risks don't seem to be very significant at all. So, but do be sure to talk to your doctor. I am not a doctor. I'm not a medical professional. I am just relaying research that, reading that I've done on my own, and accounts I've heard from others. There's not really a lot of like scientific studies that have been done on this, and so, but there's a lot of like anecdotal evidence. So generally it's regarded as safe, but yeah, definitely you want to talk to a doctor and do your own research on this. But of course, these risks also can be minimized with healthy lifestyle choices, which we should all be trying to do anyways. Personally, I'm making time to work out, to eat what fruits and vegetables I'm not allergic to, which is another story. Doing my best to make sure I'm drinking enough water and getting enough sleep. And I also don't drink or smoke, so that helps take all of my risks down a little bit. I don't have those risk factors. Like anything, pros and cons, risks all need to be taken into account. But we can't let fear rule us either. You can take precautions to lower your risks when talking about anything, really. Now, something you might be interested in is the ways that testosterone can be taken. So there's a couple ways that testosterone can be taken. Most common ways are either through injection or topical creams and gels. So I'm choosing the latter. So I figured, why stab myself with a needle if I don't have to? Plus the applying it topically gives you a more level, even dose. With the shots, it's typically like once a week or once a month, and so you get peaks and valleys of how much testosterone is in your system, where applying it topically is a daily application, and so you get a much more level dose. Having a daily dose and a lower dose and applied topically, you can more easily kind of track changes. They come on more slowly with the low dose, and with the topical creams, the dose is more easily adjusted. So if changes are happening too quickly or too slowly, the dose can be adjusted to kind of even things out a little bit and get you where you want to be. If you're looking into taking testosterone, definitely talk to your doctor about what will work for you, what will be the best way for you. Some people prefer taking the shot because they don't have to think about it every day. Some people prefer the creams for the more level dose there. Maybe you don't want the cream in your house because you have small children who might get into it. It's, because it's absorbed through the skin. You don't want anybody getting a hold of it who isn't supposed to be getting a hold of it, and such as small children or other people in your household. Just not a good idea for them to get a hold of it, so maybe you don't want that because of that risk. But it's great to have options. Talk to your doctor, examine your own lifestyle, and find what works for you. Of course, you're going to want to do your own research through all of this, hear other people's stories and experiences, talk to your doctor. I can't say that enough. I can't stress that enough. Talk to your doctor, and they will help you with the whole process. It's still a branch of medicine with very little research or clinical trials or standardization. It's generally considered medically safe. But there seems to be a lot of variation from one doctor to another about starting doses and things like that. And of course, there's a lot of variation from one patient to another about your goals and what you want out of this. So talking to your doctor can work with you to figure out how to best customize the treatment to you. So yes, I am aware of what testosterone can do to me and what it can do for me. I know there's some things I'm looking forward to and others not so much, but I'm willing to take, the less desirable side effects with the more desirable ones. So that I can feel more comfortable in myself. And so I'm willing to take the bad with the good, and so I can be outwardly the awesome weirdo that I am inside. So thank you for being with me today and for listening to my video. I'm Crescentia, and this is my voice one day on tea. If you found this video enjoyable and or informative, click the like button. And if you want to hear more from me, then click the subscribe as well. You can also share this video to a friend or a family member who's looking to learn more about testosterone hormone therapy. Watch more of my videos. I plan to continue to make videos and talk to you and hopefully answer some questions that you might have. I'm in my 40s. I just realized I was non-binary last year, and I have a long history. Watch my first video and I'll talk all about that. but I know there's not a lot of voices out there from people my age. So if this speaks to you, if this is encouraging to you, if it's educational, be sure to like the video, and definitely if you know somebody who could learn a little bit more, who would like to learn a little bit more, just share the video with them. This is why I'm putting it out there, is so that people can learn and grow. So thank you everyone for your time, and we'll see you next time.